Landmines and jellyfish, welcome back to Knives, I guess, and at school today we learned how to put guns in microwaves. So anyways, last night after I did that video, I'm scrolling through YouTube as you do and trying to find something to watch, and Randy's WSG strikes again. Randy! So it was 5 favorites, and you got your favorite multi-tool, fixed blade, Swiss Army knife, traditional, and modern. And I says to myself, knives, I guess? I've got 4 of those, so we're going to roll with it. And the first thing is going to be my favorite traditional because I don't have very many, but I've got this one. And this is one that belonged to my uncle before he passed away, so I'm always going to be very fond of it. It's got this blade right here, a nice clip point, and you can tell this thing is quite large. I don't have any of my pocket swords down here to compare it to, but it's pretty big. It's got a second blade on it, which is also quite lengthy, not very girthy, but lengthy. And so, this is probably the closest thing to a traditional that this little group considers a traditional that I have in my possession. But it's a traditional, so it counts. My favorite fixed blade you've already seen before, but that's the Kilimanjaro Magnus. And just for the new guys that haven't seen it, you've got your pliers right here. And these work as pliers, but they're very awkward because this weighs as much as a Buick. And it's just a ridiculous thing. You've got the best saw on a multi-tool I have ever seen. This saw is amazing. It's incredibly sharp. It's spaced out well. I've used it a good few times in various jobs when I was a greenskeeper on a golf course when I bought this. You got your Phillips head. Oh, by the way, locking blade as well. It's got a liner lock, which I love seeing that on multi-tools. I lost one a long time ago that I wish I still had, and I can't figure out who made it or what the model was, or I'd buy another one. Everything locked on it. It was great. But you got your flathead screwdriver, bottle opener, whatever this is. And you got your Phillips head right here. And these things suck because they like to close while you're using them, because this thing, trying to control this much weight pointing down with a curved shank on a tool. Look at that. Curved shank is a nightmare. However, the redeeming quality, that is the blade. All right, this thing is an absolute monster. And you guys know I love my pocket swords, and this is a pocket sword multi-tool. I love this thing, even though it's incredibly inconvenient to carry, and everything but the knife and the saw are subpar at best. But gotta love it. It's ridiculous. So we're going on to the favorite fixed blade now, and that's going to be this little guy right here. And this has got my touch mark on it. So this is a Kiridashi. If you've never seen one, it's a little Japanese marking knife, and these things make really convenient small EDC fixed blade knives. I have carried this a bunch of times, and you can kind of tell because the oxide layer is much more worn off than it is here where it sits in the sheath. And these are great for opening packages, doing a lot of small jobs, the kind of stuff that most of us run into day to day. And you can do it with style. So this is the first billet of Damascus that I've ever made. It's 1095, I believe, and 15 and 20. 14 layers with a lazy twist on it. And I hammered this out by hand. No press, no power hammer, nothing but my arm. And if I would have kept going with the blacksmithing stuff, I'd be an absolute monster right now. When I fell out of it, just because mental health went weird, I was able to swing an 8-pound hammer one-handed for at least brief periods. I made an 8-pound hand-and-a-half hammer to extrapolate on that, and yeah, that it's still sitting there, and I haven't used it yet because, again, my mental health said, your head's not in the game and you're going to get hurt. So this is something I'm actually really proud of, and the inspiration for this was an old Alex Steele video when he was still on Bleecker Street. And he made a Damascus Kiridashi on one of his daily videos. And I looked at it, I'm like, I'm going to make one of those. So I did. And I love this thing. I'm so proud of the fact that I managed to pull this off. And that was my first try at making Damascus. So I got that on the first try. The Swiss Army knife. I don't have any Swiss Army knives anymore. I had one that my uncle gave me for the groomsman at his wedding. It was this really small white one, the kind you put on your keychain. That didn't survive the marriage and divorce. I don't know where it went. I lost it way before I got divorced. And if I thought about it, I would have scoured the house for it before I just left most of the contents and took the kids and got out of there. But we're going to pretend that this is a Swiss Army knife for no good reason, but this is an automatic, and 440 stainless Taiwan, no other markings. I don't know who made this, or I'd try to find one in better shape just because, but this belonged to my uncle before he passed away, and he definitely gave it a few hot suppers. This is also kind of one of those things that really pushed me to find automatics that I could buy, which led to the Booker Kalashnikov and the Strike Plus, or the Plus Strike, whatever it is. And I love it. However, no pocket clip, so it doesn't work for how I need to carry things now. But that's not a Swiss Army knife. You just got to pretend it is. My favorite modern at the moment is this Olatan's T025. And if the light's right, you can see where I flame treated it with the forge to get the colors on the titanium. And you guys that have been here for a minute and watched the video know that I went through a lot to get this done and have it come out like this. And I liked it so much that I hung my Finding Nemo bead on there. And I do have some more of that blank. I just haven't turned it because acrylic is really hard on my tools and takes a while to polish up. But I love this thing. You guys know how I feel about it. You've seen the videos on it. And I find myself reaching for this more often than everything else at the moment just because it carries very, very well. And it's a very well-made knife. And I like the titanium and the fact that I customized it. So, you know, and this, again, it's kind of a really stark contrast to the pocket swords that I normally like carrying, but it's just so good at what it does. I love this little guy, and it was $25. I think it's up to $28 now, but for $28, you can get a titanium knife with a D2 blade. That's hard to argue with. But that was yesterday's open tag and today's open tag. And by the way, I'm going to tag Randy in this because he's the guy I saw it from, and that's how I do. It's probably not right with everybody else in the group how they do it, but that's how I do it. The other thing that's got an open tag on it right now is 2 for Tuesday. And my 2 for Tuesday is going to be some gas station goodness. Buckle your underwear, boys and girls. So the first thing we got is this Wartech. And I did an unboxing on it, and I did a short, just flipping it open and closed. But this has got this, it's gold colored all the way through. And I saw this, and I just kind of had to get it because it was so ridiculous, especially with the skulls. And I wish nicer knives had stuff like this, you know, the better budget knives, you know, the $50 to $60 range, $75. But they always do the really boring stuff, your G10, your FRN, your, you know, your other materials. You can't find stuff like this until you get into much higher end knives where guys are kind of making stuff for themselves and then selling it to whoever wants it. And that's a shame. But let's flick the bean on this. It's an assisted open with an incredibly stiff detent. And you can see there's some Damascus patterning that also has this gold material on it, which I find positively ridiculous. I think it's hilarious. The pocket clip is tip up, which is the Lord's carry. And I've actually carried this a few times, and I do like it for what it is. I'm not the biggest fan of an assisted open and a stiff detent on just the thumb studs. Let's flick the bean again. It's less convenient, but, you know, if I'm going to have assisted open, I'd rather have a flipper tab. However, again, this was I had to buy it for what it is. That is just ridiculous. Now, the other thing is it's one that I picked up for the much better half a while ago, and that's just because I know her taste in things. But we got this mermaid knife right here, and I forget when I got it or how long ago it was, but we're looking at and let's see, Masters Collection Ballistic, and 440 stainless USA design. And this is an assisted opener with the flipper tab that I prefer. And again, I like stuff that's just ridiculous. I wish more stuff like this would show up in the budget range, but with good materials. You know, I'd take Sandvik, I'd take 8CR13, I'd take 9CR14, you know, D2, because it would be fantastic to be able to carry something goofy like this and have it be good materials and well made and all that happy stuff. But you guys kind of know how I am. I like the really crazy, ridiculous stuff when I can get it. And let's flick the bean again. You've got the blade's painted with dolphins and fish and more fish. However, the pocket clip is tipped down. And I hate tip down, but we all live in sin. So these are my gas station goodies. Let's flick the bean one more time. You know, these are my gas station goodies, and I will buy a good gas station knife if it's got some kind of gimmick. You know, I am a sucker for a good gimmick, and sometimes these guys hit that part out of the park, and then I have to buy it. even if it is just to carry it to be a little bit of a troll and to amuse myself with something that I could break and not care about. And that's the thing. These are fun. They're not great, but they're fun. You know, I can do whatever I want to this, and if it breaks, oh well. It's an $18 knife. I could probably find another one if I looked hard enough. But that's the 5 favorites. 4 favorites and an imposter. Let's be real with ourselves. And a 2 for Tuesday. So I'm going to tag Randy in this. And 2 for Tuesday, I don't even know who, but I saw Randy do that, so I'm going to tag him. All that being said, thanks for looking at my crap. Thank you so much for the subscribers. As I said, we were crowning for a while, and we broke 200, and then we jumped up to 220. I'm very grateful for the progress we have on the way to 1,000. I am so grateful for everybody. You know, it makes doing this feel a little better. I do these videos for me because I enjoy them, but, you know, seeing a response makes it feel a bit better. Thank you for the comments. Like I said, they make me feel good. I enjoy the feedback. And all that being said, y'all have a nice day.